Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in another Fortnite video. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys what I do to warm up in Fortnite, show you guys all the things I do to work on my building, to work on my editing, and also to work on my aim. So I'm going to show you guys all the things I do to warm up in this game and show you guys exactly why, and really explain why I do the things that I do and why I find them very, very helpful. And before we get into the video, I have a weekly V-Buck giveaway. I'm going to be giving away 2,000 V-Bucks every week. So if you guys want a chance to enter that giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you turn on my post notifications so you guys get notified for every video. And also so you can see the winner of the giveaway, and as well leave a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you'll be automatically entered into the giveaway for a chance to win 2,000 free V-Bucks. So make sure you guys do enter, and alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so here in this video, I wanted to show you guys what I do to warm up in this game, show you guys exactly what I do, because honestly when I first get on the game, every day that I play, to be honest with you guys, I feel like my fingers are super slow. I feel like I'm not able to compete. I feel like I'm messing up all of my shots, all of my builds. So I started doing a few things before I get on, or before I start playing public, because I play a lot of pubs. So it can be kind of annoying to lose game after game, at least for the first like 30, maybe even 40 minutes, just because you're not warmed up. Your shots all over the place, your builds are all over the place, your edits are not where they should be. So sometimes it takes a little bit to warm up. So there's a kind of a routine or something that I do that really helps me out. I'm going to show you guys exactly what that is. So the first thing that I always do is I always practice my free builds starting out. And the reason why I practice free builds is because when it comes to building, there's so many different builds in the game. So you really want to just practice every single thing that you know. Any sort of, building mechanic, 90s, any type of like edits while you're ramping up, different things like that you would normally do in game or just to improve your builds. I would definitely recommend on starting with that. That's what I do. And really you can do in these any order, whether you practice your aiming first, editing, building, it really doesn't matter, but I just start with building. Super simple because it takes a lot less precise movements. Like, 'cause when it comes to aiming, it's a lot more precise. So I usually just do builds first, kind of get my fingers a little bit warmed up. So that's what I do first. And with free building, I would just recommend trying to learn. Of course, you always want to improve. You always want to learn new high ground retakes. If you're just doing 90s over and over again every single day, you're not really going to improve because there's so many other different things in the game. So you really want to do work on as many things as possible when it comes to free building. So that's going to be the first thing that I would recommend warming up as. And so the next thing I always do is editing. When it comes to editing, you can really do any sort of edits that you would like. Personally, I prefer edits that I would do most of the game. So the edits I'm showing here are edits that I do literally every single game. So I do practice or warm up with the edits I normally do the most. So any type of floor cone edit, I do that a lot. Any sort of edit when it comes to walls, sometimes ramps. I pretty much like to work on as many things as I possibly can when I'm warming up. So it could be anything from building multiple structures and going for edit like I'm doing here, because there's been a lot of times, or you can even work on tunneling. I do practice that quite a bit, because tunneling is something that you do pretty much almost every single game when you're getting shot from 3 or 4 different directions, and you really need to build as much as possible, as quick as possible. Working on tunneling and being very effective at that can be very beneficial and a really good way to warm up, because you're building a lot of different builds at the same time. But personally, when I'm warming up, I really don't like to go for like the flashiest things that I know. I really just like to do things that I would normally do in game either way. So a lot of different edits, a lot of different builds, shots, pretty much everything that I would normally do in game, I practice that first, because when I'm actually in game, those are the things that I'm gonna have to rely on. And if I've already practiced and already warmed up in those things, I'm probably going to be more likely to do them correctly in game, which is going to help me win a lot more gunfights and get a lot more wins. So the next thing I work on is going to be practicing my aim, and it can be a little bit trickier because you have aim assist and things like that. If you play PC, of course, you have Kovacs. The programs are a lot easier to practice your aim. But when it comes to control, there's not much you can do. But one thing that I do, and why this I think is pretty effective for improving aim, is I practice on shooting. Or I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe it. I practice going from target to target, because that can be a little bit difficult, because when you play controller, especially if you play on linear, it can be very difficult to have a small analog stick movement. So going from target to target very quickly can be very difficult, and that's one thing that I like to practice on controller, because even though they're standing still, it's not the easiest just to go from target to target to target with the controller, because the analog stick movement is something you have to really have down for muscle memory. And same if you play on PC, you have to have a really good muscle memory with your mouse as well. But for controller, it's definitely a lot harder in that aspect. So practicing going from target to target very quickly can be a very beneficial skill, because it helps you with your muscle memory when it comes to quick adjustments, because when it comes to games and you're playing maybe like a duos or squads, even if you're playing solos and there's multiple people, being able to shoot quickly from player to player is going to be a very effective skill, because in this game people build, of course, so you want to be able to get shots off as quick as possible. You want to get shots before they're able to build, so if you're able to get 50 damage off on 2 players very quickly, that's going to be a huge advantage in that gunfight. So being able to not only be very accurate when it comes to shooting at your shots, but also being able to be accurate when you're going from player to player can be a very beneficial skill, and also something that I really recommend practicing. And so here I'm just going from player to player, practicing aiming at the head, because when it comes to headshots, I really try to go for as many headshots as I can in game, just because when it comes to the shotguns, especially the shotguns in this game, they do absolutely no damage unless you hit headshots. So really practicing, I'm just practicing my assault rifle aim. Of course, you can practice SMG or maybe some flick shots with shotguns on the same bots and create if you want to. I was just practicing my aim with the assault rifle, because that's really the most, for me, when it comes to L2 spam, it's like the most important thing. The most, like, my biggest benefit, my biggest advantage is going to be some sort of L2 auto rotation with like assault rifles, sometimes SMGs. So that's going to be my biggest advantage. So I really want to make sure that the biggest advantage I have with my assault rifles is going to be something that I'm very comfortable with and also very efficient with, because if that's my biggest advantage is going to be hitting shots, then I want to be as efficient as I possibly can when I'm doing so. So that's why I really practice moving from target to target. And as you can see, one thing you also want to do in your warm-up is progressively get faster. So I was just really practicing hitting my shots. And then I went from trying to aim even quicker and quicker and quicker, because you don't want to start out really going as fast as possible. You kind of want to gradually get into it. And that's what I recommend doing, is just starting out slower. And once you start to get really comfortable, start to get a little bit of a rhythm, then you can definitely bump up the speed and be a lot quicker. And that should warm you up a lot faster. And the last thing I like to do is I always like to practice editing. Of course, I know I practice editing at the beginning, but I like to do it before I go into games, because editing on controller is extremely important, because it's not gonna lie, it's kind of, some edits are very difficult to hit. So being able to practice my edits and be very efficient with it is something that I need to be, or need to have ready before I go into like a public match game or whatever I'm playing, because I want to be able to be as efficient as possible when it comes to aiming, editing, and also building. And especially editing, just because I feel like it's a lot more difficult, or I'm not gonna say I feel like it definitely is a lot more difficult on controller compared to keyboard and mouse, which I've already proven. And because I played keyboard and mouse for maybe like 2 or 3 times, I'm already probably like 10 times better editing on there, or at least more accurate, 10 times as accurate aiming on there than on controller, even though I played controller for like 2 years, just because of the way the movement is and just how you control it. It's so much easier. So I'm already a better editor on keyboard and mouse, but of course my aim isn't there and my building isn't as good as controller yet, just because of the movement and the way it is. But as far as editing, it's so much easier. And when I'm in a public match game, or even if I'm playing Arena or Cash Cup and I'm going against keyboard and mouse players I know are better at editing, I have to make sure that I do practice that and warm up my edits, just because it's going to be a really deciding factor when it comes to close range fights. I need to be as efficient as I possibly can. Even though I'm at a disadvantage, I still want to give myself the best possible chance of winning that gunfight and also hitting the edit that first time, because when you go for edits, you really have to be, you pretty much have to hit, you have like a short window. Editing is one of those things you really do have a short window in order to hit the other player. So when you are going for a quick edit, you have to make sure that it's very quick, and also that you edit right away. And you can't really mess it up, because if you mess up the edit and you don't, I guess, correctly hit it the first time, a lot of times the other player is going to have enough time to either edit out of their box, maybe make a play on you, or whatever the case may be. You can't mess up your edit, otherwise you give them time. So being very accurate with your edits is also really important. It might even be even more important than being able to just edit fast, because if you're able to edit fast but you're not 100% consistent with it, then you're probably not going to be winning as many gunfights as the player who's very consistent but maybe not just as fast as you. So these are going to be the things that I do when it comes to warming up in this game. I hope you guys found this video very helpful. Hope you guys find it useful. I know a lot of you guys are curious if I like warm up in creative or what I do before I play. And these are usually the things I do: editing courses, working on my aim, builds, edits, kind of in that order as well. So those are the things I do. And if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys find it helpful, drop a like. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.